In the heart of a nation consumed by war, a desperate dictator clung to power. His armies crumbled, his people starved, his reign neared its end. But the dictator, drunk on hubris, had a planned time travel. Deep beneath the dictator's palace, a team of terrified scientists toiled away, their faces pale under the harsh glare of flickering gas lamps. They were close. A machine of whirring gears, crackling electricity, and shimmering portals promised an escape from the present and a chance to rewrite history. The dictator, eyes gleaming with avarice, watched with rapt attention as the scientists finalized their work. He envisioned himself escaping to the past, filled with a fortune in gold and the schematics for a weapon of unimaginable power, a hydrogen bomb. The dictator stood before the gaping maw of the time machine, his heart pounding with a mix of fear and excitement. He clutched a briefcase containing the blueprints for his weapon and a satchel overflowing with gold coins. His escape was at hand. The dictator stepped into the pulsating portal, the air thick with the scent of ozone and anticipation. The world dissolved into a blinding flash of light and a cacophony of sound. He closed his eyes, bracing himself for his arrival. His plan was simple. He would emerge in the past, a time before his rise to power. He would use his knowledge of future events to amass unimaginable wealth and influence. He would rebuild his war machine, more powerful than ever before. He would rule the world. Instead, he awoke on soft grass, his senses overwhelmed by the scent of earth and the chirping of unseen birds. He lay there, disoriented, his body feeling alien and wrong. He looked down and gasped in horror. His limbs were small, chubby, useless. He was an infant. The gold coins in the satchel had reverted to their raw state, nuggets of inert metal scattered around him. The briefcase lay open, the intricate designs of the hydrogen bomb reduced to blank sheets of parchment. The time machine, a jumbled heap of wood and metal scraps, lay nearby. The dictator, the tyrant who held the lives of millions in his hands, was now a helpless infant, alone and abandoned in a time he no longer recognized. The universe, it seemed, had a sense of irony. Section 4. A foundling in the fields. A farmer, tilling his land, stopped his oxen, startled by the sight of a crying babe lying near a pile of strange debris. He cautiously approached the infant, his brow furrowed in confusion. He had never seen such strange materials, but his heart melted at the sight of the helpless child. He gently lifted the child, marveling at its soft skin and the way its tiny hand gripped his finger. The baby, sensing his kindness, stopped crying, gazing up at him with wide, innocent eyes. The farmer, a childless widower, felt a surge of unexpected love for this mysterious foundling. He gathered the child in his arms and bundled him in his rough-spun shawl. He would call him David. He decided to leave the strange wreckage where it lay, a silent testament to a mystery he couldn't begin to comprehend. Section 5. Destiny's Plaything. David grew up strong and healthy, loved by his adoptive father. He was a bright and curious child, always eager to learn. The farmer, a kind and gentle soul, instilled in him the values of hard work, humility, and compassion. David never learned of his past, of the tyrant he had once been, of the world he had tried to shape to his will. He lived a simple life, a far cry from the one he was destined to lead. He tended to the fields, played with the village children, and learned the rhythms of the earth. The dictator's dreams of power, of conquest, of rewriting history had been erased, replaced by the quiet contentment of a life lived in harmony with the world. Section 6 echoes in time. The dictator's plan had backfired in the most ironic way imaginable. He had sought to bend time to his will, to escape the consequences of his actions. Instead, time had stripped him of everything, reducing him to a blank slate, a vessel for a new destiny. The world he had sought to control had moved on without him. The wars, the suffering he would have inflicted, existed only as phantom possibilities erased by the whims of fate. The dictator, once a name whispered in fear, was now a distant echo, lost in the annals of a history that never was.